Look at me in the eyes, John.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? For First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, coming at you from Bali Kitchen in the East Village, where I'm joined by Brian Emanuel, aka Rich Chigga. You know him from singles like Glow Like That and Dad's Stick. He has a new one with 21 Savage called Crisis, out now. It's a heater. But before the turtleneck and fanny pack swag took the internet by storm, Brian was just a kid growing up in the capital city of Jakarta, and that's why we're here, to get a crash course in Indonesian cuisine. And Brian, when I say Indonesian cuisine, what's lighting up your brain? What are you thinking about right now?
I'm thinking of, waking up in the morning, smelling the cooking from, my mom. She just cooks every day. My grandma sometimes cooks, and they would just cook a bunch of like Manado food because my mom's from there, and it's like a lot of spicy stuff, a lot of pork, a lot of chicken, a lot of vegetables, and just like a lot of spices for sure. Yeah.
And then too, as someone who's been on the road now, is it difficult to find Indonesian food?
Definitely. I've actually never had Indonesian food when I'm in America, so this is like my first time. I'm very excited. Honestly, I just miss the instant noodles. In Indonesia, there's this thing called like Indomie, and they're like amazing. And literally, at one point on eBay, it became like the #1 like Christmas present because like Americans just love it so much. Yeah, it's amazing. You need to try it.
All right, well today we're gonna have some of the most classic, recognizable Indonesian dishes around to see if they stack up to Rich Chigga's high bar. All right, first things first, we had to start with rendang. It's a coconut-based, slow-cooked stew served with vegetables, sambal, and jasmine rice, typically served with spicy beef.
Yes.
And you haven't had Indonesian food in so long.
Nope.
This gets plopped down in front of you.
Yeah, it smells just like the real one, so I'm very excited to do this. So basically, in Indonesia, we never use like the fork, like we never put the fork on the right hand and just like eat it like that, so it's always on the left hand. And the spoon is always just like the main thing. The fork is basically just to it's kind of like a support system. And you like take it, take some beef right here, and then you kind of like get some on a spoon. And yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Cheers, my man.
Cheers. Wow.
Scratching that itch that you've been wanting to
That is
scratch
so
for a
good.
while.
That is so good. Man, that is amazing.
And then, sometimes it's kind of called a curry. How would you describe the dish? How does it fit into Indonesian culture?
In Indonesia, we have this thing called kare, which is basically, it's the Indonesian way of saying curry. This is not exactly it. So rendang is from Padang. And basically, Padang food is known for being super greasy and super big, having a super big portion, and you just get it when you're just hungry as hell and you don't care about your health, basically. Yeah.
And then too, I think that we should talk about, and I'm gonna bust it out, boom.
Oh, there you go.
Here we have sambal. Now, as somebody who's in the hot sauce game, I hear about this all the time. It's basically like an accompanying sauce, like a salsa, and some of them are quite hot.
Very hot.
Is this something that you use often? How hot do you go? Talk to me about this.
It's kind of like salsa, but it's also kind of like barbecue sauce at the same time, and it varies like a lot. And some are a lot spicier than the other. And with rendang, usually I've never tried sambal with rendang. I also don't know what kind of sambal this is, so I'm down to try some too with you. So
let's go there.
Let's get it. Let's cross that line.
And then too, some of these are crazy hot. I'm just going in blind on this one.
So basically, usually the rule of thumb is when it's super red, it's usually not that hot. I feel like this has been a little Americanized. A little bit. Usually you would be able to taste the flavor of the chili more. But I'm gonna try this one actually. I don't know about this one right here, because we got a little bit of sambal on the tomato also. I don't know what kind. This one looks a little more spicy. Let's try this one.
That's more.
Yeah. So this one right here, this is kind of this is the Bali kind of sambal. You find these kind of a lot more in Balinese food, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what they put in there, but definitely it's like, it tastes like Bali, for sure.
It's a little earthier, you know, that feels a little more grown from the dirt, grown from the soil.
Actually, I have no idea, maybe. But yeah, definitely reminds me of Bali, for sure.
Up next, nasi goreng.
Yes, sir.
Indonesian style fried rice with eggs, sweet soy sauce, fresh pickle, and garlic crackers, served with chicken or tofu. And then, as I understand, this is the national dish of Indonesia.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about growing up with this?
It's like a big breakfast thing in Indonesia, I feel like, nasi goreng.
A staple, a classic.
Yeah, you know, you and your friends have at like 4 a.m. when you guys are like drunk as shit. It's also like a thing that your parents just, you know, sometimes make you in the morning when they're trying to be nice to you, you know. My dad is like a big like rice dude. My dad's a big rice dude. But he's like, yo, do you wanna like, have you had lunch? And I'm like, yeah, I had like a burger or something. And he's like, but you know, like there was no rice. Like you didn't eat.
Yeah, if it's not if it doesn't have rice, it's not a meal.
Yeah, that's how important it is. So there's like different types of nasi goreng in Indonesia. This one I think we're having with chicken, and there would be some with like goat meat, and this kind of seasoning that they would use is kind of more like Middle Eastern. But this tastes like the normal.
This is the classic.
This is the classic.
How funky does it get? Have you ever seen them get real funky with it?
So nasi goreng just means fried rice, and they have this thing called nasi goreng gila, and gila means crazy, so it's like just crazy fried rice, and they just like slice up hot dogs and put it in the fried rice. Yeah, and they think it's fucking crazy.
Speaking of hot dogs, you know, it shouldn't be understated how good your food tweets are. Is it still the best way to ether someone by calling them a hot dog? Is that still the worst insult you can come up with?
Like if you're just walking around the streets of New York, you know, like, or like a homeless dude comes up to you and, you know, calls you names or whatever, you're just like, yeah, it's just a fucking homeless guy, right? But then, you know, if a homeless guy comes up to you and he's like, you're a fucking hot dog. You like think about that for a while.
It's true. I don't think I'd ever
know that about me. You know? Like, am I a hot dog? Like, am I even fucking human? It's fucked up.
All right, so up next we have Satay, Makassar. How'd I do on that one, Brian?
You did pretty good. You did pretty good.
How are my pronunciations? I'm always self-conscious about my disgusting Midwestern drawl, you know?
I feel like Indonesian, it has some similarities with Spanish, where you just kind of roll the R sometimes. So it's like Satay Makassar. Yeah, but let's just eat it.
Yeah. All right, so this one is a grilled chicken skewer served with coconut rice cake, salad, spicy mango pickle.
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with this one? Is this one new to you? Where are we at with this dish?
I've tried satay before, so Makassar is like it's a region in Indonesia. So this is like one of those things where it's like different in another region. So this is like a new little thing for me.
In every culture, you'll find some sort of skewer dish. What is satay's place in Indonesia?
You have it at night mostly. You're like walking in the streets. There'll be like people walking like a cart.
Very much a street food.
Yeah, it's definitely a street food. And yeah, that's where you kind of like smell the charcoal a little bit on it. Okay. Oh, I like that. Very fresh.
That's the way to do it. Little mango, you have the chicken, and you really do get a real heavy charcoal element to the skewer. It definitely, you can tell the street food roots in it.
It reminds me of like being a kid going back to like my dad's hometown to visit our grandparents. Every time I smell like charcoal, like that's what I think of, and this is bringing me back.
We're really bringing you back,
I'm about to cry right now, Sean. You're about to make me cry on TV. It's not going on TV.
So let's bring it all home, Rich Chigga, because you said you haven't had Indonesian food in so long. Bali Kitchen here, one of the only Indonesian restaurants in New York City. Does it stack up? How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels like I'm home. It feels like it definitely, I feel like Americans would love this, and it's definitely like a good, like if you want to know like what Indonesian food is like, this is like the place to go.
There you go. And then too, because as someone on the road, you probably can't get the food that you've been craving this whole time. So let the Indonesian food wave catch like a wildfire. If you're in New York City, the place to go, Bali Kitchen. Rich Chigga, you already know.
I'm always gonna be here, you know.
Holding it down.
Holding it down.
He's just got a corner table, just come say what's up, take a selfie.
Yeah.
The single is called Crisis. And then of course we have the Asian tour on deck in December. First we feast, you already know. Thanks for checking in. We'll see you next time, Internet.
Thank you, Sean Evans.